So, on the left, on the top, in this game, we have Allouition playing as the Persians in the orange. On the bottom right, sillySeth in the green as the Celts. We're back, and we're in. Discord audio, I think, is working. And we're on Amazon Tunnel. sillySeth says, please don't douche, as he sees Allouition playing Persians, and Nut, his former teammate, current teammate as well still, I think, if they're playing any team games, has douched in the past with the Persians. That's the deleting your own town center and placing it next to your enemy's TC to just create a huge amount of chaos. So he's a little concerned. He's a little concerned, but Allouition not interested. Just kind of picked the Persians for the elephants, according to that chat. So
fair and valid.
Absolute fair and valid choice. But we're here on Amazon Tunnel, and we'll see how this goes. Allouition has been banning pretty much every choke point map he comes across, so may not be as much of a fan of that.
This is a definite choke point map.
Definitely. The top bottom Amazon Tunnel tends to be a lot more choke pointy with the square in the middle versus like left wall, right wall, or like, you know, the side to side, which is much more just straightforward. But here we are.
I mean, this has all the wonders in the middle, which I know this is coming from me and it's going to be controversial, but I'd love to see a wonder victory at some point.
Oh, you're talking relics?
Relics, yes.
I'd be a fan of the relic victory. Yeah. Yeah, again, I'm not sure how relic victory works. I think we had that win condition triggered one time, but it never panned out. So I don't know.
I think
but this
you
is
have to collect all of them. So
you have to collect them all.
All of them would be fine.
Amazon Tunnel is one of the ones where it's definitely actually feasible to do that. So right now we just see Allouition 4-7 and sillySeth 4-7 as well, with some villagers moving around a little bit. Very standard build from both of these players. If we pull up the overlay, we cannot do so, but there we go. What is all this? Okay. All right. I don't know. Pull up that overlay. Celts are going to be heading for Castle Age with their siege. Persians, strong rush with their, chaotic start. They can go archer, definitely, with the archer rush. Man-at-Arms only stops at Man-at-Arms, though, so Allouition going to have to pick a different unit to spam if he wants to do any spamming. Ugh. We're back. We're back in the swing of things here. Taking that boar with 7 villagers. Changing some info there. There we go. That's accurate now. Allouition up 1-0 in this best of 3. And we have farms coming down in the Dark Age. Both players enough buildings, but still lacking the food. sillySeth maybe... Oh no, he's just going for more villagers at the minute. The TC idle time, pretty similar for both players. Actually, sillySeth, I don't know what he's spending his food on right now. It's gonna be that textiles or whatever it's called in this game. Give those villagers a little more survivability. Today I decided to bring out a whole bag of baby carrots. That's my stream snack.
For the healthy snack.
Going on the crunchy.
Good for you.
Hey, if I buy something unhealthy from the store, I'm gonna eat it before it's time for stream.
That is probably the case with me.
Got that second boar for Allouition.
Oh, sorry, my mic tends to be a little quiet, so I'll try to speak up.
I'll boost it up a little bit as well. I'll keep an eye on that. Good shout. And we have the
thanks
first
for letting me
walls.
know.
Sorry. Coming up for Allouition, moving all the way down to his enemy's side to wall that off. Now, I believe the first game on Amazon Tunnel this tournament, the Alchemist, tried to do that, and she got kind of called out in the lobby, in the commentator booth for being too aggressive. Like, that wall's never going to stand. But we'll see if Allouition's able to pull off, and you might see some interesting hijinks going on here. sillySeth making it past that wall before it was built with the villager, gonna wall off his enemy. Now they're both just trapped in the middle.
Oh my goodness.
And sillySeth in green, going for like multiple layers of palisades there too. Both players going up to feudal age. sillySeth with a little bit of a advantage in speed there, a little bit of a head start. Halfway there now. And I believe that's a barracks coming down for green. And orange going to place his barracks in the middle. Very aggressive, very risky choice, but if it works, then it's perfect. And there's some farms for Allouition there too. Moving on to that food source instead.
Oh, I would be very interested in the hotkey for spread all these villagers out amongst their farms.
I mean, if you build farms, if you just hold shift and click down a bunch of farms with all your villagers selected, they will just automatically leave one behind and go on to the next one to build it. As far as sending them all out to build one farm at a time individually, I'm not sure. I think you might just right click.
Because clicking on a villager and then right clicking on a farm and then clicking on the next villager and then right clicking on a farm tends to be a little bit time consuming.
It's a little slow. The shift right click on that with all the villagers selected is going to be the time saver there, as long as you have enough wood saved up for it. Now players finding out, at least Allouition knows that he's walled off from the middle. Pardon me.
Yeah, and there we go, both players in feudal age.
Good question. This game is unrealistic and unplayable. Trees not blowing in the wind, flags blowing in the wind. Can't keep track.
I mean, if you're talking about unrealistic, those villagers could definitely fit in between those trees. So
I mean, this is the small trees mod, which makes it a little bit easier to see what's going on. But Allouition housed for a brief second, and both players in the chat realizing, wait a minute, we had exactly the same idea. We're twins right now. Horse collar for our Persian player. Gonna make those farms a little bit more economical for the wood side of things. And sillySeth just gonna go for a little bit of a knock at those walls. You never know, maybe he'll get through. Be able to clear this. The villager under attack.
yeah, kind of just chasing her around a little bit.
And this is the power that 2 man-at-arms have attacking palisade walls. That wall is gonna go down very quickly. Like, it's definitely worth, if you have the units, to just go knock on the front door a lot of the time.
They are attacking the palisade gate, which I think has less health per
square that it's on. Yeah, it definitely does have less health. That villager's still making a run for it.
On the other side of the gate.
Allouition
building it
gonna be short on wood now. Yeah, that is an annoying thing that pillagers do often do. Now 4 man-at-arms out. And on the other side, same situation. And there goes 1 palisade. I think the repairs, he had to fall back because he didn't have enough wood for farms back at home, so wasn't able to spend it on repairing. And now here comes a fight that should be in green's favor. Maybe. There may be some hill advantages. No, the reinforcements are coming in for orange. Going to be pushed back.
Yeah, the numbers are just a little bit in orange's favor.
And this villager is on 2 hit points still back there.
He's still going,
Still
you
going.
know?
What's that? I think it's forging. No, I don't know. Attack tier 1 upgrade for sillySeth now as well. Gonna be coming in soon. That'll give him a very significant advantage in these men-at-arms fights. Yeah, we use the small trees mod these days in our Age of Empires 2 streams. Just because without it, the game may look more aesthetic, more realistic maybe, but you just can't tell where things can be placed a lot of the time, where holes are in walls. It just makes things a lot easier to tell what's going on. And
I think the term
it's
you're
allowed.
looking for is aesthetically pleasing. I don't think aesthetic is an adjective.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
No worries. But I'd still think that even with normal trees, they'd probably be able to fit in between the trees. But
yeah, definitely.
that's just me thinking with guerrilla tactics instead of traditional military tactics.
Well, who knows? Maybe in Age 4 they'll add a civ that will your villagers will be able to walk through trees or something.
That would be
If they had
if
they had like the Vietnamese or something like that.
That would be completely game changing.
This was unreal from sillySeth. Yeah, how does he have this many units out already? I sent villagers ahead to make a castle. Oh, and he was in feudal. Oh, that's why I was wondering while watching this before why you were just going for a lumber camp up there, but I see. That's rough.
It got caught out.
Yeah, both players in feudal age still. Oh.
Yeah, you gotta keep track of what age you're in.
Hey, I mean the pressure is high on this.
Yeah,
Seth opting not to go for that second boar. That's all good. He's taking those farms.
Yeah, we've got some deer not too far off too, up here between the barracks and the house.
Yeah, deer. A worthy source if you can push those in. Maybe even worth milling, depending on the situation.
I have been somewhat brought over to hunting.
Okay, you've been converted.
A little bit.
Both players very much identical on the resource distribution right now. Allouition with 3 more on gold. It's probably just to support more production.
sillySeth did just spend all of his food on something.
Both players just click to castle age now, so he'll be able to get up his castle at some point soon. And there come the archers for Allouition. Definitely a stronger unit choice as the Persians than their man-at-arms. Although obviously man-at-arms in enough mass will do damage either way. But now sillySeth ceding the middle completely and is just gonna have to try to defend this southern choke point. His walls are still up on the northern choke, by the way. Allouition just working this as a proxy base with this like one villager.
Layered those walls on up there, so might take a minute to get through.
Yeah. A little bit of patrol action coming in for green there. Love to see it. And that house is going to go down. Men-at-arms are going to get into his base right now, and I don't think he can take a fight. Here comes some houses. Maybe going to try a quick tap on those to keep him out, but it's not quite there.
Stone wall.
Allouition making sure yet.
Save.
And I think the archer support for orange is going to make this fairly one-sided fight. Green, you can see him trying to get one hit on this house so that the enemy can't come through. But there's just people standing on top of it at all the wrong times. Now, okay, Allouition falling back for the time being. He lost quite a bit of his units there, so. And there's the defensive castle for green. Not on the other side of the wall as he might have liked. But at least it's coming in. And it's a pretty good spot if you want to stall it out for a little while. Pretty much your only option here as the Celts, I think, with this much aggression from the Persians, is just going to be to stall until you get your siege, until you get the units that you want, and your economy going a little bit later on into the game. Villager pop count, by the way, 44-36 in favor of Allouition. That's fairly significant at this point. And I think that's just reflective of the idle TC time, which is about double for sillySeth. He's been under the more pressure this game, so it is how it goes.
Yeah.
Now, Allouition, just a ton of archers. Second TC. Second TC for both players as they hit Castle Age. And this is just turning into kind of a mess of buildings and wall pieces.
Hey, I mean, nobody can get through. I think that
True.
was kind of the intention there.
That is a good point. So we're going to want to see from sillySeth Woad Raiders and Ongers, I think, is the comp that you generally want to go for as the Celts. We'll see how he decides to play it. There are other options. You can go for some Cav for raiding, etc. But upgrades now coming in for Allouition at Longswordsman. Again, I believe, unless I have this wrong, the Persians do not get anything beyond longswords. That could just, again, be fake. I don't know. Why do I even still bother making those overlays all the time?
I like how you just pop into them, barely give us time to look, and then just...
Hey, it's more for me to check up on my facts than for anybody else at this point. Persians. See, I have here infantry stops at man-at-arms, but clearly he's researching longswordsmen, so something is off about that.
Yeah.
But also with a couple other upgrades coming in, the armor, we got the infantry move speed upgrade for Allouition. He's going to have the Castle Age tech diff right now, with sillySeth not quite able to, since he lost that fight, he's trying to rebulk the military, I think. And this is a huge pickoff for Orange. Seth not able to garrison these villages in. I don't know if his hotkeys aren't set up right, or it just doesn't have the experience with getting TC rated there, or if he's distracted with something else. Didn't notice the archers on the left TC. Loses at 25, 13 at this point, 13 villagers. 14, it's going to be 15. So it's not looking good for green after that raid. He's down 52-31 on the worker count right now. And here comes some Woad Raiders. They're going to do really well against the man-at-arms as long as they can outmass and do their damage without getting killed. Because they're a little bit more squishy, but they do, as you can see there, just eat through the enemy. And there's the archers just walking around down the backside of that base. Man-at-arms getting cleaned up at home, but they're just still raiding in multiple different locations. Diving the TC, probably going to get killed from that arrow fire. Sadness from sillySeth. Hey. This is the game. And now that wall now fully up for green with houses and a little bit of stone wall as well. Doesn't see the archers just standing back here waiting for the right moment to strike.
Those archers sneaking in there, that is nasty.
Yeah. Oh, let me, I forgot in all of the utter chaos, but I can stream on Discord if you would rather have less of a delay. I think that'll work. I don't know. Now the Woad Raiders and the TC Fire gonna clean things up. It's stabilizing from sillySeth. No more enemies are coming in. We have walls up. Everything's locked down for the minute. But the economy difference is massive. Allouition with some idle time right now, not building any more villagers. Feels pretty confident at the minute. He's done a lot of damage to the enemy.
That southern wall is just...
It's just a nightmare. I don't know what's going on up there. I think Orange did finally break through the palisades at the north, so he's able to bring more villagers down if he wants to as well. Looks like more military production buildings coming up for him in the middle there too. sillySeth just really struggling for food right now. I think that's... I mean, a lot of time it can be kind of hard to... He got raided pretty hard too, but it can be hard to like balance the cost of villager production in food and on also producing your military units, the Woad Raiders, etc.
I mean, the resource balancing is just you gotta learn with experience.
Yeah, third
Mostly.
TC now for green. I like that in this position. That's absolutely a perfect move from him here. He recognizes he's behind, lost 19 villagers with no payback, and needs to reboom. And on Amazon Tunnel, you kind of can, especially with this choke point locked down well enough that he'll know if an attack is coming. It's worth investing in a second TC or a third TC. So good call there. Maybe he'll be able to reboom and catch up on the vill count. All these upgrades for Allouition. He's
More
just
farms to
breathing
get
free.
his food up.
Yep, getting those farms down. Patrolling around the back, making sure there's no more sneaky archers hiding anywhere. Skirmisher, I think, for orange. Okay. It's like the skirmisher damage upgrade. Or castle age upgrade. Some walls. I think he's trying to stone wall up there instead of build houses. Not sure.
Yeah, which that makes sense.
Okay, masonry from orange as well. I'm gonna keep those buildings from being destroyed too much. And one monk just casually walking back and forth, picking up relics. We'll see if he gets them all. Castle for our Persian player. Kind of a yin-yang situation with the green castle. And university for green. I like everything since the that TC slaughter massacre. I like what I'm seeing from sillySeth. he's doing all the right things to make a recovery. Yeah. Right now, 24 workers on gold for Allouition. It's I guess, and 28 on food. What is this? He's going long swordsman still. I wonder what the strat is there with that kind of resource distribution. I guess long swordsman with the golden food. Makes sense. He's still doing what's comfortable.
Villagers, sillySeth has queued up.
Oh man. Moving on to the stone and taking those deer. Okay. A little 37-minute deer never hurt anybody. 0 on stone and 0 stone left. And sillySeth actually fast Imperial. I think he may have bought some resources to get up there. I wasn't looking at the left-hand side of the screen. But this is going to take Allouition by surprise, I think. Because he knows he did a lot of damage. But his enemy about to hit imp. That monk, we have so far one. That's going to be second relic. And we got to get a good look at those elephants. Look at those dudes. Come on, turn and face us. Nope, not yet. Not yet. We'll see them when their time comes.
Save it.
All the right things, all too late. Hey, in this situation, this little slice of recovery here is definitely solid. Okay, we've got stables for Allouition. We got Cav upgrades coming in. He's just branched out into all the options here, I think. And I would be looking right now for some Mangonel upgrades into Onager, Siege Onager, even once he hits Imperial for sillySeth, and just more Woad Raiders. But we don't have any military units coming out yet for him. He's still rebalancing the eco.
Imperial. About
going in.
Do so.
Here it comes.
Here it comes.
No defense upgrades either for his infantry. It's going to hurt the Woad Raiders quite a bit because they're already pretty far behind on that. Or maybe the strategy is to just not invest in defense for them. Oh, there, it actually just comes in. And just lean into their glass cannon status. But Allouition just dropping thousands of farms, millions of acres of farmland in the back of his base. 36 on food for him now and 20 on gold. Only 7 on wood. I think that's just more man-at-arms. Okay, he's queued up some knights. Nope, canceled the knights. What's this guy thinking? Okay, cancel the knights to go Imperial himself, Allouition. All right, we've got one trebuchet coming up here for sillySeth. See if he goes for that castle right away. T90 always says don't trickle treb. 3 trebuchets or more is the golden amount if you want to attack with trebs. Otherwise, you give your enemy too much warning, too much advance warning that castle's not going down fast enough. We'll see if our players ascribe to that teaching. Allouition, and now it feels like Amazon Tunnel. Well, there you go. Both players just booming their hearts out. No fighting is occurring. And sillySeth actually able to catch up somewhat. Sorry, I bonked my mic there. Hope it didn't come through. 85-74. TC idle time.
Yeah, that was a
almost
really
the same
impressive
again.
economy recovery from sillySeth.
Yeah. Can Mandarin? Do I have that? No, we don't know what Commandaran does. If you do it in the chat, light it up. But that's a unique tech for the Persians. Town Watch as well for a little more view distance, a little less fog of war for our orange player. We got Chemistry for sillySeth, good choice if you're playing Siege Civ.
Mandarin changes the cost of archer line units from 25 wood and 45 gold to 60 wood instead of taking gold at all.
Okay, so that definitely is why Persians are good archer civ. There we go. That's the reasoning.
Throwaway units.
Absolutely.
Hold on them.
Makes me want to play Persians right now. That's a great bonus. Second castle coming up for green, and 3 trebuchets coming out before starting the attack. I think he knows about that T90 tip. 1 worker building that castle up there. He's obviously not in a rush to get that one up. And here are all 3 trebs. That castle's definitely going down. Allouition didn't have time to prepare any kind of response to that. I think at the minute as well, we do just have a hole through the middle. Not sure if that's going to get patched at any point. But I mean, who's gonna go walking through there right now?
Yeah. I do like trebuchets. I haven't gotten to use them as much as I would like to, but dang.
Trebuchets, they're interesting in this game because there's not really a response at range other than your own trebuchets. Allouition says, but wait, I'm not ready yet. So now he can't really respond to those trebs without attacking with his army into whatever might be nearby to his enemy's trebs because he doesn't have any castles up to build his own. So that's a really interesting dynamic of when you go Imperial Age, when you build castles to target just getting trebuchet units out.
Exactly.
I got back to more villagers than him. Yeah, sillySeth now booming up to 101 to 99. Has actually surpassed Allouition's villager count. That idle TC time just a little bit more for sillySeth, just reflecting the 3 TCs to the 2 TCs. Like, at this point, idle TC time is kind of irrelevant just because town center count goes out the window. But 3 relics for orange, going to trickle in that gold. 4,000 gold for Allouition right now. The resource difference here is pretty significant. We'll see if he's able to spend it in a meaningful way.
But
and we'll see if Silly...
It's interesting he only picked up the 3 relics when he had control of that whole space, I think.
Yeah, he definitely
could have gotten them all, and I wonder if that would have been a relic victory for him.
Yeah. I'd love to see a relic victory.
He had control of that central area for a very long time.
Hey, you know what? In round 2 of the 2v2v2v2, well, actually, no, it'd be way too hard to get all the relics in one of those. I was going to say you should try for a relic victory.
I collected 5 or 6 in the last one, but on a 8-person map, there's like, I don't even know how many there are.
Yeah, well, you never know with Mega Random.
That would be very funny if someone...
Got 2 mangonels for green. Yeah, that villager needs a raise. Building that castle still just by herself. She got it up all the way. And now the final wall is coming in for green. I like green just sending 1 Woad Raider up to see what he's up against. And he's going to see a lot of hussars. Going to see crossbows. It's so funny that Allouition is now like building into all of these no gold units. The hussars, the Persian crossbows. But he has 4,000 gold. I guess that can be for tech. It can be for elephants, which he has 5 more in queue. Can't wait to see those guys. 4 more mangonels for sillySeth. I guess the Onager upgrade and the Siege Onager upgrade are both quite expensive, so maybe he just doesn't see the worth. I think I think it's pretty much worth it when you have four mangonels, though.
But yeah, he's got 49 and 45 on wood and food, so he can build units as much as he wants.
Yeah. Still the villager advantage for green, though. Very impressive stuff. Allouition testing the waters. Gonna get fired upon by like 5 trebs. Able to dodge. Six trebs, sorry. 7
this wall
mangonels out now.
situation still just cracks me up. Like, I can't look at it without laughing.
It's just a mess up there. Like, what is going on?
Like, why is there a gate over there?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I mean, we're like laser focused on sillySeth right now because he's on the bottom of the map. It's a little easier to look at, and he's really the defender here. Allouition has everything figured out, hasn't been pressured in his space at all. But if I had a couple of bits of thoughts for him. Oh, look at those elephants. Would be 6 trebs is probably too much of an investment in trebs, and you want to get onager before you get 7 mangonels because the value there is probably worth it. But I mean, I don't know. I haven't won against Allouition either, so you know, there it is. I like the comp though.
Oh, and we're adding another gate.
Getting another gate up on his enemy's wall, just to mess things up a little bit more. There's chemistry for
really
orange.
Building quite the force up here for orange.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like because of the mangonels in the siege, the gold value, which is the small bar with the military pop count, is in favor of sillySeth by just a little bit. But the trash units, the hussars and the crossbows and whatever.
I wonder, does that take into account upgrades that eliminate a gold requirement?
Does that count commander in? Yeah, a good question. Because the overall population difference for military there is definitely in favor of Allouition still. Able to spam out all kinds of units. And come on past me. Zoom in on those elephants one more time. I got to see it. Where'd they go? Another castle for orange in the middle hill. Absolutely the meta spot for a castle in Amazon Tunnel. There's always a little hill up there.
Definitely set up that middle space there.
Now, I want to look at resources that are left on the map as we reach minute 55. That's the last gold on green's side, I believe. And I think I'm going to go up and check orange in a little bit, but he has the middle too, so it'll last him quite a bit longer. And it looks like from the minimap, he has one more bit of gold back at base as well. Now, main fight coming in. The basic units are definitely going to be in favor of orange. We'll see if green can get the siege in there. It looks like they're going to be blocked. The mangonels are going to be blocked by the trebs. This is a disaster. The walls are coming back to bite.
Trebs are
fully wiped the main army of woad raiders from green. But it looks like Allouition only has pretty much just ranged units left. He's reinforcing. Those trebs are going to take down that castle. sillySeth trying to repair it a little bit there with 4 vills, going to delay. But those mangonels just can't fire because the trebuchets are in the way. They're blocking the whole like nightmare through. He's now deleted some walls in order to pass through there, but I don't think it's going to work out at this point. It's a little late. What an unfortunate fight for sillySeth. You hate to see it. And now there's just a way through. Let's see if he can dodge back into that pocket. But I think these mangonels are not long for this world. And with that is pretty much all of sillySeth's army gone. The elephants didn't even need to get into the action. They were too slow to get down there and fight. Gold all gone now, so he's going to have a hard time rebuilding any kind of military. 3 mangonels in queue again. 13 more woad raiders. We'll be able to reinforce a little bit. I think now he needs to stall, pull back, but the elephants are here to knock down the walls. We're just going to move in. Woad raiders are not going to do, well, generally I think not too well against crossbows because they have very little armor, so they'll get ranged before they can close the distance, but they do move exceptionally quickly. Villagers moving out for green to attack Must have been a box drag selection. There's the last gold for orange in his base, and I think he may have, yeah, he already mined out the middle as well, so he's gonna have a little bit more back in his bank. 2.9k left there.
And he's got those relics to give him a little
Oh,
bit of a trick.
the relics will trickle in more, and two now upgraded onagers. The upgrade coming in too late to make a difference. Just roll out and get wrecked by hussars. You hate to see it. Bombard cannons now out for orange. These green guys are going to clean up the hussars if they can take a good fight, but the range is there. The support is there for orange. The reinforcements are there. Villager difference still very close, but the gold is there. He's swimming in resources. 10k wood on the orange side and 6k food. He's been allowed to spam his heart out in this game. We have a little bit of a pause. These bombard cannons aren't going to make it last. And actually, that castle does survive. I think sillySeth might have cleaned up the Treb that was attacking it earlier. But the bombard cannons are going to be a bit harder to take care of. Oh, second castle goes down now as well. Now, sillySeth in the chat says, okay, when the castles are gone, you win. As the score is 14,000 to 9,000 at this point. So I think he can see the writing on the wall. Has no more gold back at base. Don't do it, lol. That was close from Allouition. There were some close moments there. Some very unfortunate scenarios that sillySeth found himself in. And there's the GG. Allouition victorious. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch. You're right. Very entertaining stuff. sillySeth, I think, got a fortified wall at the end there at some point. See those thick walls? They won't stand forever against bombards and elephants. And we got some stats here. But
GG,
good stuff.
sillySeth and Allouition.
Yeah, GG.